Alright, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. We are going to be having a Terran versus Zerg on the map Zen today. So a good old TvZ on a bit of an odd map, but I'm excited to see it, as we have got two very exciting players to watch. In the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have none other than Triumphant Song Gaming Solar. And in the top right-hand side of the map, we have got Dragon Phoenix Gaming Cure. So both these players on Chinese teams at the time of recording this, but I think that there's actually a few Chinese teams which are disbanding, unfortunately. They say in relation to the virus and whatnot. Understandably so. However, we'll see these two play under their banner, at least for this match anyway. So yeah, I set a bit of a weird map. It's gonna be Zen. Zen isn't too weird, but for me it is, honestly. I usually just veto Zen or never play on it. As, yeah, it's just the walling and everything is a little bit odd, the mineral pathing. I'm not a fan of having to try and run through mineral pathing and odd chokes and stuff. I have a hard enough time controlling my army as is. Pros like Cure and Solar, though, I have no problem working around obstacles like that. So we see, yeah, just normal openings from both the players so far. But ladies and gentlemen, as we watch these cool looking overlords move across the map with the little beepers on their head, let's try and hit 100 likes on this video for an epic Terran versus Zerg, Cure and Solar. As of recording this, Cure is a GSL finalist. First time in his career, which is a very, very big deal. Very proud of Cure indeed, as someone who's been saying Cure is an awesome Terran for a long time now. I'm glad we're finally getting to see that result. Alright, so yeah, I think I said let's try and hit 100 likes on this video. Of course, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, but enough of that, as we see the Reaper's gonna start crossing the map for Cure. Start setting to work on some of these Zerglings. Hatchery is on the way for Solar. Third hatchery, Reaper's being a bit of a pain. Picks off two Lings. And for those of you unaware, Cure and Solar actually have quite a rivalry, by the way. They play each other an absurd amount because they're both frequent flyers in online cups, which is something very notable. Now, Cure, he's been poking with his Reaper, bruised up a lot of Lings, but actually didn't kill him. He was 3 shots away from killing 3 Lings, which is a bit of a shame for him. He's got a Marine shooing Solar's Overlord away. Looks like he's got a couple Hellions on the way next. And then just jumping into the main base with the Reaper to try and spot anything outlandish. Reaper is going to try and grab a drone. Can Cure get it? No, of course not. Solar is too good at controlling his units. The Reaper hesitates a little bit. Got to be careful. Almost getting picked off by that Queen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, though, what another note on this cast is I've actually tried using a nasal decongestion to, as I do get a bit nasally while casting, I find. So I thought maybe I'll give that a go. I obviously don't want to make it a habit or anything, but sometimes I do feel a little bit stuffy when casting, and so let me know if you notice a difference or anything like that. Hellions just run right on into Solar's mineral line for Cure. Only gets 2 drones though for 2 Hellions. I think that's a trade Solar will absolutely take. At the same time though, oh, the Reaper jumped into the main base, and the Reaper killed off 2 more drones. Nicely done, Reaper, making that trade look a little bit nicer for Cure. 2 more Hellions run right on in, over they will be shooed away by Solar. And then we take a look. Cure just getting his wall up. Probably going to be seeing a 3rd base go up relatively soon, I imagine. There's always a chance he will just throw up 2 more barracks, though, and just go into a more aggressive bio play. Marines for Cure going to start gunning down this Overlord, which will pop in, see the Banshee researching Cloak, or see the Starport researching Banshee Cloak. Triple Spores on the way for Solar. Cure runs in with his Hellions, gonna grab himself a drone, gonna run on out. Nice little bit of damage just for a little bit of effort. The Hellions actually position themselves at the 3rd base for Solar now, just trying to deny as much mining as possible. Solar is just droning up quite happily though, but if we do take a look, he seems to be falling a little bit behind, as it's 38 drones to 40 SCVs, which is not usually what the Zerg wants. So we see Solar getting out 10 drones, but maybe he was thrown off a little bit by this harassment. He lost only 5 drones, but there we go. Now he's starting to produce more. I think Kier's in a solid spot this game, though. Now we take a look, and Overseer is on the way for Solar. Gonna have that to help detect the Banshees. The Banshees for Kier, by the way, there's 1 out, there's gonna be 2 out, so they're gonna be going in tandem. That way they can one-shot drones, helps negate or mitigate the damage that a Spore Crawler can do, as all the Banshees gotta do is pop in and pop out, but with an Overseer and the Queens, they have to get out of there right away. Spire's on the way for Solar. Kier hasn't spotted it, and it's in a bit of an odd spot. Solar just putting it between his natural and his third base. Going to be playing that classic Lingbane Muta style. All the way Kier behind this. Did get up that 3rd CC before his production. He's now going to be getting up his racks 2 through 5. 1-1 is also on the way for Kier. We see the Banshees popping in behind the mineral line. Actually gets 5 drones, which is not a small amount of damage, considering how much Solar has prepared to defend against this. The Banshees can also still fly and poke around a little bit. Yeah, then we see Stimpack is on the way. Okay. Let's see, Kier, he's going to have his 1-1 upgrades much sooner than Solar. He's starting to move out to the dropping phase of the game for Terran. Now, of course, the dropping phase for Terran doesn't go as long when the Zerg is already producing mutas. In fact, it doesn't really get started when a Zerg is going for mutas as quick as Solar is. Solar is at a healthy 68 drones. He's going to be rallying his mutas to kill the Banshees of Kier. Kier is a little bit in the dark as far as these Spires go, but he can probably assume they're coming his way. The Banshees see the mutas. They're like, well, we're totally toast. The Overseer there. Maybe they can get a drone. Maybe 2 drones? No, just the 1 drone. At least they got something before they got killed off. They gave Kier a bit of a heads up that the mutas are coming. Kier, of course, isn't going to go as far dropping now. And if we do take a look, Solar has got up to quite a healthy drone count. He's getting that 4th base on the way now. Kier does have up 3 bases already, though. He's got a good amount of bio out. Different groups of Marines stimming to try and shoo those mutas away. They do end up sending them packing. These mutas gonna head towards the north. Potentially get some damage done at Kier's base. Kier doesn't have a lot in position to defend this, so there very well could be an add-on or something similar picked off. Looks like Kier, though, may just be trying to pull Solar back by going for an attack instead of focusing on his defense. He will end up losing combat shield, though. Now that is an absolutely massive deal. Solar denying the Terran's combat shield. I didn't even think about that, but Solar did. Seeing the combat shield right for the pickings is amazing for Solar. These Marines are so much weaker. Kier has had a lot of HP removed from his army by not having combat shield. Bane's Lings will cut through these guys a lot easier. That being said, though, Solar isn't going to be able to defend his 4th base due to the 1-1 of Kier, due to the tank presence and positioning. So, a little bit of an eye for an eye, but I think Kier does come out ahead on this. He's even moving forward with his Marines, going to be picking off a lot of creep tumors. This 4th base has been completely reset. Solar's going to have to try and expand to it somewhere else. We see Kier hasn't actually started up his combat shield again. Oh no, Kier, you got to get on that. He's also a little bit supply blocked. Both players are, but they're both going to be freeing up supply now as the battle's happening. But look at this, these Marines not standing as well as they would if they had combat shield. The entire army of Kier gets cleaned up. Solar got put into a rough spot, Solar got put into a very rough spot, losing his 4th base. However, killing all of Kier's army quite easily and still retaining the mutas is really good for Kier, or for Solar, pardon me. Kier's now moving out on the map with some of his Marines, but they still lack combat shield. 2-2 is on the way for Kier, though, so he'll be leading towards an upgrade advantage. Still, though, this is an okay cleanup for Solar. It has given him a bit of potential to get some damage done. Kier is forced home for the next little while, probably till at least its combat shield finishes. His very late combat shield. Drop moving towards the north for Kier is unloading as those mutas had found it. The Marines stim, though, chase the mutas away. Marines have got to feel mighty tough when it comes to them chasing mutas away. They're like, there's 16 mutas, 8 Marines, we don't even have combat shield yet. I can take them. I'll stim. I'll go after those mutas. The thing is, Zerg will usually just lose 1 or 2 mutas if they take a fight like that. Now we see Kier is starting to move out on the map again. However, I am quite concerned. His combat shield isn't yet done. His 2-2 is about to finish though. But man, if he takes a fight before his combat shield finishes, I will be so concerned. It's about 10 seconds out. Solar maybe pushing off creep to take this fight. Kier's 2-2 now finished up. His combat shield now finished up. His main base being attacked by the mutas, but he's got his 2-2 upgrades now. It's an all-marine army though, so he's gonna need to split like a god. Kier's making a couple of tanks. He's even got out a Thor, but his army is essentially just Marines this game. 71 Marines to a 19 Baneling Zerg. That's a pretty good ratio for the Terran, all things considered. Kier's also doing a really good job defending his main base from the mutas of Solar. Sometimes the Terran would let the mutas go unchecked. Kier is not. He's staying on top of them every step of the way. Okay, we see 3-3 now on the way for Kier. Solar's 2-2, about halfway done. Planetary Fortress is getting fired up for Kier. And then we see just lots of tech labs and things going up. All in all, I think Kier's in a fine spot, but Solar has been surviving. He's got up to 5 bases, starting up a 6th base. He's getting towards that hive tech. If he can hold on, say, the next few minutes, the game could go very well for him. He even gets some decent Baneling connections on all those Marines. Solar getting excited, sees those Marines really clumped up, wanted to take an engagement, but for now, Kier is starting to inch forward. He's got these tanks, he's got the Thor to add some muscle into this army. Solar will have to take this fight with all of his Ling Bane sooner rather than later, though. Where's the mutas? They're going to be needed to help out. Oh no, did Solar lose all of his mutas? I guess he did. We're actually gonna back up and just double check where those mutas met their end. 16 mutas dying is quite important. Yeah, it looks like just a classic mistake from Solar. Yeah, I apologize for missing that and having to rewind. Usually I don't do that kind of thing, but oh, there we go. Solar, massive mistake, lost about 11 mutas for free. Well, essentially for free. They killed a few Marines, but more mutas died than Marines did there, so that really hurt Solar. He's not out of the game just yet, but he's not in a good spot. His 2-2 upgrades are about 10 seconds out. He doesn't want to take a fight before that. He really can't take a fight before that. Solar, he's bringing in his 5 mutas to help out. If it was 25 mutas, the number would be looking a lot better for him. Solar's gonna have to pull the trigger though. His 2-2 is finished. The Lings spewing forward. The mutas doing what they can. The Banelings need to get some good connections. The tanks though are still alive, getting massive shots off. Kier's pulling off creep. The tanks are cleaned up. The mutas doing what they can. A few more Banelings rolling forward. Looks like it will be enough to end up routing Kier. A great hold from Solar. The new mutas he built is helping Solar chase Kier back. Looks like he's not going to be able to get too much damage done to the Terran, but he can maybe pick off that sensor tower, maybe roll some Banes into that SCV line. We shall see. For now, though, Solar holds on. He kept his base alive. He's got his 3-3 on the way. He's got his adrenal glands on the way. There's not much more a Zerg can ask for. All he has to do now, really, is hold on for the next 2 minutes, and his spot will have drastically improved. There's also an Ultra Cavern on the way. And to top things off, Solar is even expanding towards the north very well. Kier isn't able to harass it due to the Mutalisk presence, and so the Zerg's feeling very comfortable. He can even lose this base and sack it if he needs to and still be in the game. The mutas now moving into Kier's main base. They're going to start getting damage done. The Terran player was on top of defending these mutas for most of the game, but now that some more have been made, they're able to start getting damage done once again. They're going to trade out with these Marines, but they will have to end up retreating due to the Thor, due to the turret on the low ground. All the while, Solar, though, back at home, just building up a absolute ton of Banelings and Zerglings. There's a drop towards the north. This has been a little bit late for Kier, but it's still going to get the hatchery. Nonetheless, it would seem, yeah, nothing quite in position to save the hatchery, so that is a very nice pickoff for Kier, shutting that down. The mutas kind of caught out on the map. Some of them have died again. Solar just trying to hold on for now, really. As long as he holds on this base, the pressure is on him now to hold on to this base, so you really don't want to be a 4-base Zerg against a 4-base Terran. A few Banelings going to roll forward for Solar, but that is quite a few. They do take out a Couple of Widow Mines, though. Ultras are now on the way for Solar, too. He's wanting to add those to his army to really help with the muscle. He doesn't have 3-3, but he does have Adrenal Glands to help out on the Lings. The Mutas, Banelings rolling forward. Everything for Solar crashing forward. But in the end, there's just too much presence here for Kira. Solar needs these Ultras to get into the fight. Even though they don't have chitinous plating yet, their presence greatly bolsters the Zerg force. Ultras pushing forward. Off of creep, enough Lings there to support them to send the Terran bio routing. The Mutas are all gone. But as we see Solar, he's holding on. He's re-establishing his base towards the north. His 3-3, his chitinous plating are just seconds away from finishing. Once he has that, his army will be bolstered drastically. He's now moving in. The Thor is trying to stand, but it will not. The bio of Kyr is being pushed back, and all of a sudden the efficiency of Solar's army just increased so much. The 3-3 kicking in, the chitinous plating kicking in on the Ultras. The Zerg is now at essentially a tier 3 army. Solar behind this, he's even making Vipers, a few Corruptors as well. Really, really good hold from Solar. A lot of Zergs would have crumpled by now against Kyr. However, he's dragging the game out. This is forcing the Terran to take a 5th base, clear some creep to do so, a very big pain. Okay, we take a look here. There is that 5th base for Kyr, still not landed, still not a planetary fortress. The Terran player's army supply is higher, but the Zerg's is significantly better at this point, I'd say. With the Corruptors on the way, this is really going to spook Kyr. His mind's going to be going towards, oh god, what if there's Broodlords? In reality, the Corruptors seem to just be anti-Medivac for the most part for Solar. I really do enjoy their addition, though. He's already got the +2 for the Mutas. The Corruptors can benefit from that. The Zerg player has bought himself a lot of time. He's building up more Banelings, making more Lings, even getting up another hatchery. I really, really enjoy the play from Solar here today. The army supply is still maxed out for both of them, so this game can really go either way. Looks like Solar going to get a wraparound, clean up a good amount of Marines and Marauders, and he's actually just going to crash forward through the Widow Mines, through the Terran force, but does end up getting repelled. There's simply not enough Zerg here. Part of the reason for that is that Solar has split up his army due to Kyr splitting up his army. We see Lings and Ultras are going to go try and surround this bio. Will actually be potentially a strong surround, but Solar decides not to take that fight. Both players backing off a little bit for now. The fighting, though, is going to resume. Kyr, he doesn't want to let Solar get up this base. It's really one of these players can take this location. They're not going to just share this spot of bases. Kyr may be thinking that he's not going to hold on to his base. Tries to secure the one in the bottom right. Solar is pushing forward now. He's got the Corruptors working on the Medivacs, which is tremendous value. Ultras do end up having a retreat, though, due to the bio presence of Kyr. Solar, though, I must say, is doing a really good job splitting his army. He's constantly had these Ultralists, these Banelings, down here to prevent a base snipe from Kyr. And so, essentially, these players are fighting two different wars on two different fronts. We see... Alright, here he's going to be pushing this location, but I think this one's going to be looking good for Solar. The bio's rather stimmed. We see the Corruptors moving forward, preventing the healing by sniping down the Medivacs. The Ultras getting on top of the bio. A couple of Ultras may get focused down, but look at this. Even Corruptors starting to caustic spray on the Planetary Fortress. Banelings rolling forward, getting good connections on the Terran Bioforce. Looks like the Corruptors, the Ultras, are able to target down that base of Kyr, knocking down his location. Solar has almost remaxed before the battle's even done. This is making things look very, very good. Kyr is being pushed off his 5th base or 6th base location, whatever you want to call it. He's not able to get damage done on Solar's side of the map. And we see Kyr, he's now just floating over his natural after he already floated his main down to the bottom right. But all that really says is, oh, you couldn't hold on to a planetary fortress against Solar? How on earth is Kyr going to hold on to this orbital command? Right now we see Solar trying to pull a fast one on Kyr. The bottom right is going to be getting under siege by the Zerg. These units in the Medivacs are basically trapped. They can load up, but the Corruptors are on their tail. The Vipers toss down a parasitic bomb, going to potentially pick off full Medivacs. The base in the bottom right is absolutely forfeit. Those SCVs did not get a chance to run. And so while Kyr is securing this location here, he's losing a base. There was simply no way he could defend two fronts with two orbital commands. Very well done by Solar, picking off a base. Kyr isn't out of this just yet. However, I do have real high hopes for Solar this game. There's no ghosts. Cure hasn't been able to hit all over the map, and all that leaves is a Terran Bioforce fighting a 3-3 Zerg Ultra Ling Bane army, which is absolutely disastrous for the Terran. We see Solar pushing forward. This could be the final fight. Widowmines are going to burrow to do whatever they can, but Cure is retreating. The presence of these Ultras too great. A lot more bio does show up for Cure to the bottom side, but his army isn't really being microed. Runs right into some Banelings due to a blinding cloud. Beautiful play by Solar, and he smashes Cure, playing an incredible ZVT, taking on such a good player as Cure. Solar showing that, well, he didn't make it to the GSL finals. He is definitely a rival for Cure. Really great play. Now, if we're going to talk about the game a little bit, let's just say, for starters, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Subscribing to the channel is free. You get notified whenever I put up a new video if you hit that bell icon. And join the Discord if you haven't. That is linked in the description. But now, to talk about the actual game a little bit. At this point in time, you see players with very minimal bank. They were both maxed out for quite a while. The position for Solar is what I want to talk about, though. Because lately, we have seen Zergs lose games in this kind of situation. And that's just due to the tenacity of the Terran player. We take a look, though. We see Solar has done an incredible job defending this location. Cure didn't get a single drop-off, really, on this location, and he got one delayed drop on this location to the north. Other than that, Cure wasn't really dropping too much. Maybe it's due to the structure of Zen. Maybe it's for other reasons. He wasn't confident moving out with a drop due to the mutas. But as a Terran, if you're going to stick to the Widowmine, Marauder, Marine, the way we've been seeing other Terrans make it work lately is by having 2-3 Medivacs worth of units pushing the north, some pressuring on the center, some hitting the bottom right, and just out multitasking the Zerg, whereas Cure didn't do that. He was more or less just fighting the Zerg player. And then once his window passed, once the Zerg had the better upgrades, the fights all just went Solar's way, and it showed that a Terran player can't just fight a Zerg army straight up with the Marauders and Marines. You need to either go for Ghost Liberators, Mines, Vikings, whatever you name it, or you need to be hitting all over the place all the time. For too much of the game, we saw Cure. He had armies down to the south here, but they weren't necessarily doing too much. I mean, they were on defense duty at that point. But like right now, he wasn't able to push in. Maybe he should have tried. He absolutely should have dropped into the main base of Solar. You need to be hitting the Zerg everywhere. Of course, Cure was worried about this attack on his front, but you need to be the one attacking. You can't be the one defending. There should have been drops. There should have been Liberator harassment. Cure needed to do more this game to make this style work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been LaughNgamez. I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed that bit of analysis. Take care.